This segment's going to be a little bit disjointed because I filmed it out of order, but whatever. So I recently, yesterday, I ended up watching Knives Out, which, you know, I'd been aware of, but I hadn't really watched. I'm not exactly a movie buff. But during the film, watching the movie, I realized that a lot of the a lot of the interior shots of the Thrombey estate looked very familiar, and I realized why. It's because this is it right here. The Ames Mansion is the location of a lot of the interior shots. The exterior shots were filmed elsewhere, and the exterior of the estate is, I believe, mostly a model with some practical effects. Yeah, for the movie, this whole segment of the house was done over, and they're not doing tours right now, so I can't go in and sort of show you what I mean. But I'm just going to do a quick walk around. Obviously, the exterior doesn't look very much like what it did in the movie, but it's I believe one of these little signs here, I don't remember which, has an actual picture from the movie, but like, here, this is the room where this scene was shot, etc. Oh, that's funny. So I actually haven't been down here in quite some time. So I forgot, I should say I haven't been down here to this part of the park in quite some time. So I actually forgot that there's a pool. This is an artificial pool. Obviously you could see by the granite. But this was like a recreation spot for the Ames family. I completely forgot about that. But you can see pieces of the property here have been sort of converted. There's a disc golf course right here. I believe there's a disc golf club that goes through here, and they're, you know, they practice here and they're based out here. Obviously, this course is currently in use, so I'm going to be going a different direction. But, okay. Well, you can probably hear from the voices all over the place that it is quite busy right now. It looks like there must be like a disc golf tournament or something. So, unfortunately, the amount of footage I'm going to be able to get sort of over in this area is pretty limited. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the West Side Trail to the French Trail, around Split Rock Trail, Lower Loop, and then along Upper Leech Pond, then down that way. I don't know how much footage I'll get. I can already hear people getting closer to me, so I'm gonna have to cut this short, but we'll see. Let's go. To be frank, I haven't used hiking poles in a long time, so I'm sure I'm using them wrong. I haven't used these since I hiked Katahdin. Oh man. And that was a long time ago. I remember I came to this last time. Oh yeah, I didn't mention. So I actually came to Borderland State Park in September, early October-ish, and just started, you know, talking to myself out of the trail just to see, you know, how does this feel? How does this format work for me? And I got here and I went down that way, and there's nothing. There isn't anything down that way. It looks like it used to be a trail, but it's not on the map. And obviously there's no signs or blazes or anything. and it gets to a point and just ends. So I don't know what the story is behind that, but I always find it funny that sometimes you just come across dead trails like that, and you know, it always makes you wonder, you know, why did they close the trail off? Or, you know, let's say it was a trail that wasn't even finished being constructed, right? Why did they stop construction? Was it a seasonal thing? Did they just run out of time? Did the person who was managing the project just decide, nope, we're done? I don't know. I honestly don't know how any of that works. So I'm always curious when I see stuff like that. The Mass Parks actually runs some workshops and stuff about trail management. I think I've missed all of them this year, but I should definitely try to get to a few of them next year. There's a lot of ice just under the surface of these leaves. I'm glad that I took the caps off my hiking poles. If you're not familiar with how a hiking pole works, and I'm sure I'm going to get at least some of this wrong, but they're useful for maintaining 3 points of contact with the ground, which can significantly improve your stability as you're walking. Something else about hiking poles that a lot of people don't really realize until it suddenly falls off, there are 2 tips. Actually, though, there are 2 tips and there are 2 sort of ends here. I currently have the ground hiking collar, I guess it's called. There's also a much wider one that's for going over snow and mud. They also very often come with a rubber tip that's more designed for like road walking or hard pack trail, that type of stuff. But a lot of people don't realize when they first buy them that those can actually just pop right off. They're just little rubber feet, like the kind you can stick on the bottom of chairs. And when you do that, you get this off my wrist, you get a nice sharp point. And I have no idea if the camera will be able to focus enough to see it, but there's actually little teeth there that can significantly improve how well the pole can grip the ground. This is very useful pretty much everywhere that's not a road. If you're going over road or very, very rocky or gravelly terrain, not so helpful. But anywhere else, you really want those caps off. And of course they're useful for storage, so you don't accidentally scrape or puncture something that you don't want to. Now these hiking poles are just cheapo, like $15 poles I got at I don't know, Ocean State Job Lot or something. So they're not the best. They're actually a little heavy. You know, a nice set of hiking poles are going to be usually like carbon fiber, that type of material. Usually carbon fiber or some other extremely lightweight material. I think these are aluminum, which is pretty lightweight, but not that lightweight. And it definitely doesn't have the same strength that a nice pair of carbon fiber poles would have. I believe they also make them out of fiberglass, but I personally wouldn't trust those just because I've had far too much experience in fiberglass tent poles fracturing and splintering on me. I wouldn't want to carry that with me on the trail. Let's see, West Side Trail, Visitor Center, French Trail. So I'm here. So West Side Trail, that's just what I was on. And then the Visitor Center is back that way. Okay. But I want to take the French Trail upward, so I'm going to keep doing that. Alright, so there were people who passed me on the trail. I can tell they've come this way because of the ice. The little holes that their hiking poles have poked into the ice. Rule of thumb, avoid ice if you can. So like I can see all of this visible ice, and actually I can feel the ice is below the surface of these leaves, but at least these leaves will give me some friction. So I don't have to worry quite so much about slipping. But obviously the danger is still there, so I do have to be careful. Oh, yeah, this great. This cheap pole, I have to tighten it, but the cheap pole just whoosh, slid down to being too small, too short when I put weight on it. So let's tighten that a little bit. Put weight on the other one to make sure that won't. Okay, that's better. And this, kids, is why you should test your poles before going on an excursion with them. This is nice. Cool. Okay, yeah, so this isn't actually a trail. There's some people behind me. It's funny, every time I go out winter hiking, I always forget what it's like. You know, I go hiking so much in the spring and the summer, and the two that I recorded in the fall, I forgot how nice it is out here. The air is nice and crisp. There's, well, today apparently being an exception, but there's usually, hello, I finished my thought, usually fewer people on the trail. What is this? Let's see if there's no like signage or anything. Is this am I going down a real path, or am I just yeah, no, this is not a real path. All right. Let's see if this is a named feature though. Where am I right now? No, this isn't anything. Well, it's not a named feature. I mean, obviously it's something. I'm looking right at it, but it's not like a named trail feature or anything. Supposedly this is a path, according to the map. I mean, obviously, it just goes around the boulder here. It doesn't go anywhere else. It's just a loop. But this is cool. As I'm sure you've gathered by now, these natural rock formations are just fascinating to me. And I know I say this every single time, but I need to eventually learn more about them. or come out here with someone who's studying geology or something. I don't know. This is where those rubber feet would come in handy, but those are in my pocket. I'm too lazy to get them. Ooh, a little sort of crevice there. Oh, yeah, people have sort of fitted rocks into the little crevices here, into the knots. Beautiful. I'm actually rather impressed. There are no names carved into this. These little filaments. What would cause that kind of ice formation? Wow. They're just How does that happen? I'm gonna have to look that up later. Is it just the water like filtering through the essentially gravel, like the rocks? Like what? This is incredible. I have never seen this before. This kind of ice crystal formation. Yeah, and that is ice. That's not, as I get ice all over the lens. This is so cool. I'm looking you up later. So that's the French Trail. I don't want the north. So, sorry, my brain. I just came out of that way, so the map is oriented this way. So I want to go that way. The Northwest Trail is down this way. Does it say it's both directions? No. Well, I want to go this way anyway. I should do a video eventually about like what gear to take when you're going on a day hike for each different season of the year. For authenticity's sake, I would have to spend a year filming it. I'd actually have to film during those seasons. But that's just an idea to throw on the pile. I've definitely fallen off the wagon for keeping myself as fit and active as I should. That was kind of partially the motivation for starting this series, was, you know, to convince myself and remind myself that, you know, being out here, being in nature is just so important. And I was so stressed and unhappy and just mad all the time with everything that was going on with the pandemic and making, you know, public health political, and I've brought myself down. But being out here away from the world, you can just put all that stuff aside. Now that I've just checked the map, the obvious trail, unfortunately, is not the one that we want. It was that other trail back a ways, which sounds like it's got people on it, so I might have to cut the footage a little bit, but let's go around. Alright. I am here. Okay, so I just want to take the pond walk around, and then I'll go through the off-leash dog area, because of course I will, but that's fine. That's okay. We're fine. Yeah, so I'm taking the long pond walk around. Downside to this trail is I'm actually heading straight toward the off-leash dog area, so I might be encountering a lot more people. I don't know if you can see what with the sun. Tenor, 6187 to 6302. Looks like a dog. I think this is a memorial to a dog. So of course there's tons of names scrawled all over it. There. That's really pretty right there. This was a good choice of location for this type of thing. So unfortunately, the back half of this video is sadly going to have to be cut short. I might have a couple of clips after this point to highlight particular features that I find interesting, but as you just saw, I have to cut off the trail every single time a person walks by. So in all honesty, I'm probably just going to stop filming here. I wish I was at a map to show you where I am, but I've got about another hour of hiking left. So see you when I see you, I guess. Is that smoke? Is there a fire going in the cabin? I think there is. I didn't even know you were allowed to be in here. Huh. Well, there's no one in here watching the fire. That's a little concerning that there's no one here watching the fire. I mean, it's it's certainly nice to warm up.